Hey everybody, this is Eric Yates from BehindTheThrills.com and welcome to another episode of BTT Weekly. If I look a little sleepy, it's because it's 5 a.m. in the morning on Wednesday. Yes, we get up this early to do it for you. And as you can see, I'm on my way to work, so good fun stuff. The time of early September is kind of what we call the doldrums here. There's a lot to talk about, but not a lot happening. Just a few weeks we're going to be dealing with Halloween Horror Nights, Hollywood, Orlando, Howl-O-Scream in Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, SeaWorld, San Antonio, and even that other place, Busch Gardens, Tampa. Sorry, Tampa. All kinds of stuff going to be happening in the next few weeks. You're going to want to follow along with us at Behind Thrills on Twitter. And also check BehindTheThrills.com every day. Now, while that sounds like the end of the show, it's only the beginning. Tons of stuff has been happening. As a lot of parks have been winding down their season, a lot of parks have also been making huge announcements. One of the biggest announcements, literally the biggest announcement, is that Six Flags Great Adventure is going to be opening Zoomanjaro Drop of Doom. If that sounds familiar, it's because just this year, just this season, the Six Flags Magic Mountain opened Lex Luthor's Drop of Doom. Seeing a pattern here, they kind of like the Drop of Doom label. Lex Luthor's Drop of Doom was the world's tallest, fastest. Now they're going to put a drop tower on the side of King Dakar, the world's tallest and used to be fastest coaster. What kind of double shot is that? That's a double shot of poop your pants. That's what that is. Huge 415-foot drop tower on the side of a 456-foot coaster. Insane. I don't know if I'll be doing it or not because there'll be a streak of brown. Six Flags Great America also announces Goliath. Yes, another one. Only this one's a little different. Instead of your normal Goliath chain, which is a huge, big drop coaster, or not drop coaster, oh, the coaster nerds are going to kill me. It's a huge giga coaster, mega coaster, hyper, super duper coaster, and it's going to be, in true Six Flags nature, the tallest, the fastest, the most badassest wooden coaster to ever exist. Goliath is going to have a huge 180-foot drop at 85 degrees. That's right, it almost goes straight down. Why not just straight down? Don't know, don't care. It's going to be an amazing coaster. 2 high bank turns, 2 inversions, and it's going to be flat out amazing when it opens. Now, the curious thing is that Six Flags has also been part of this whole investigation with Texas Giant after a woman unfortunately died. Well, they're going to go through with it anyway. Which just goes to show you these coasters are safe, 100%. Unfortunately, accidents happen, but honestly, you hear more about kids getting hit at the bus stop than you do dying on coasters. Speaking of kids and bus stops, terrible segue, that's so bad. School is back in session, and here's a BTT weekly fun tip. If you can make it to a park that's open, there are no crowds. Unless, of course, it's Disney, and there's always crowds at Disney, but they're less than normal. Halloween Horror Nights has just announced their final house, Resident Evil: Escape from Raccoon City. Now, where some people may argue that they've had houses based on video games before, this is the first time that a house has been solely based on a horror video game. Okay, I guess you can count, if you want, Nightmare Creatures way back when, but it was so loosely based that really, did it really adhere to any kind of storyline other than just having creatures jump out from you? Resident Evil is going to follow the storyline of the video games. If you're a fan of Resident Evil 2 and 3, that's where they're going to be drawing most of their inspiration from. See, and inspiration left me. They are going to have a room where the whole game is in pause. kind of a nerd thing. Like it, really do. They're also going to have a showdown between you and Nemesis. That's right, the big baddie. You're going to have zombie dogs and liquors and all kinds of cool, fun stuff that you've come to know and love from the video game. Speaking of Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando, they have also announced the return of scare zones. That's right, solid scare zones. All based on The Walking Dead. Now, just a few weeks ago, everybody was talking how terrible Walking Dead was. Now, all of a sudden, because there's scare zones, it's going to be the greatest thing. And you know what? They're right. I think it's really going to be good. Wow. And Kyle's just blowing me up here. I think it's going to be a really good event. It's going to be a lot of fun and should make for some really great interactions between walkers and guests. Let's see, what else do we have going on? So much to talk about. Big announcements still coming from a lot of parks. A lot of parks winding down their seasons. You're going to have a ton of stuff going on here on BehindTheThrills.com. But enough about me talking. I've rambled on way too much. Let's go over to Kyle and see what he's got. Kyle?
Thank you very much, Eric. Hey guys, I'm Kyle. I cover the West Coast stuff here on Behind the Thrills, and we've got some really fun West Coast things to talk to you guys about. First off, with Disneyland, since we're going to go alphabetically, Disneyland announced recently that they're going to be expanding Club 33, which is kind of weird because that's not really a place that regular general public guests have access to. It's a place that only the super rich elite can get into. So either they're going to be opening up new memberships that more middle-class families can afford, or they're just going to try and milk it for more than it's worth and creating a bigger Club 33 experience. One of the victims of the Club 33 expansion is the Court of Angels, which has a lot of fans upset because it's a quiet little area in Disneyland that not a lot of people know about, that you can kind of just go and hang out at, and yeah, so it's closing early January, and it hasn't been announced when it'll be reopened. Also, during this whole Six Flags announcement fiasco where they announced Goliath and Drop of Doom and all these cool stuff, Magic Mountain also made an announcement. They announced that they'll be expanding Bugs Bunny World. And they'll be building a new kiddie coaster, so it was kind of disappointing to see that Magic Mountain wasn't really going to get anything new other than a new kiddie coaster, which will be the 19th coaster in the park's roster, which is kind of cool, solidifying its title as the coaster capital of the world. But it's sad that the coaster is going to be kind of uninspiring, unlike Full Throttle was this year. A ton of news. Basically, all the news in Southern California is coming out of Universal Studios Hollywood right now. So we're going to go back to last week, and Universal Plaza had opened up. Now, Universal Plaza has basically become the center of the park, and it's become this new icon for the park as well. So now Universal Hollywood has this little castle, and we posted an article with pictures of it from inside Universal. And you can really see it's got this giant Universal sign on it, and it was very, very beautifully done. It's got also a water play area, which is kind of cool. But now Grinchmas no longer has a home. At least the tree lighting ceremony doesn't, and that's been kind of a spectacle the past couple years. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens, and my dog is barking. Also, Universal Studios Hollywood closed 3 attractions down in order to make way for Harry Potter. That was the Adventures of Curious George water play area, which was okay. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to miss that. Viva Rock Vegas Midway Games, and I'm pretty sure nobody's going to miss that either. And the Gibson Amphitheater. Now, the Gibson Amphitheater is not officially closed because the final concert happens on September 6th. But it's currently labeled as closed on, all the signs at the park. So, yeah, check it out. The last concert, September 6th. I don't remember the band, but I'm sure it'll be a memorable night. But, in addition to those closures, turns out more things were closed in that sort of general Harry Potter feature area. And that includes the old Amity Island area, which has a couple fans upset. So basically, inside the theme parks, there's no more Amity left. Now they're going to have to move the Jaws, the famous Jaws photo op, somewhere else in the park. And it'll be interesting to see where they move that. In addition to Amity, they also closed the Studio Store as well as the Hollywood Cantina. Those are two other things. Now, the upper lot is seeing this big redevelopment, so it's not known if it's going to be used for Harry Potter or if it's just going to be rethemed. It's really, nobody knows what the plans are, but it's going to be interesting over the next couple years to see what happens in the end. Now, on to haunt news, there's really not a lot of haunt news left. It's just a matter of watching everything go up at Knott's and Universal and Six Flags. They've all sort of made their announcements, and we're just a couple weeks away. I mean, Universal Horror Nights is opening in 2 weeks. Knott's Scary Farm's opening in 3 weeks. So it should be a lot of fun. We cannot wait. As Eric said, we've got a lot of fun things planned for you in the next couple months. And yeah, oh yeah, that's what happened. Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood released the 2013 commercial, which is unfortunately the same exact commercial as last year with the group of teenagers walking through the back lot. So yeah, that was kind of disappointing, as, you know, if you see their face, if you see their YouTube page, a lot of people are complaining. But yeah, that does it for this this little edition of SoCal News, or whatever. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Behind Thrills. Sometimes it's me tweeting, sometimes it's Eric tweeting, sometimes it's Rachel tweeting. You never know. We're a bundle of surprises. And yeah, be sure to follow us on Twitter, which I just said, and be sure to like us on Facebook at Behind the Thrills, and be sure to watch us on YouTube. YouTube.com/Yates, YAYTEZ, because we got a lot of fun videos. And that's it for this episode. Later, guys. See you next week. Next week's episode is going to be fun. I know it's going to be fun. Bye.